On the road in Middle Tennessee, live from the Assembly on top of beautiful Monteagle Mountain. Music City Roots is on the air. Yes, sir, on the road in Middle Tennessee, live from the Assembly. Tonight, a married duo who carried their Virginia mountain sound to the enclaves of East Nashville. A bass-playing sideman who stepped up as a soulful singer-songwriter, and one of the premier bluegrass bands of the last 15 years. Plus a set by a man I want to introduce you to now as our musical host for the evening. He's a songwriter with a comedy problem and a comedian with a song problem. Think about that for a moment. But hanging out with him is always fun. It's no problem. Would you welcome Greg Hall, ladies and gentlemen?
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. It is wonderful to be at the Monteagle Assembly. I've spent a lot of time here. I was in a state last week. I don't want to tell you which state, but have you ever met people who flossed with a number 2 pencil? It is great to be here this week. I'm thrilled to be in a room of learned people. You know, I've become the old man, and I don't think I'm the only one who remembers rotary dial phones and all that kind of stuff. And I remember growing up, and there was an older gentleman on my block, and he would gripe about everything. And I think I've become that man, and I'm going to sing you a song regarding that. Well, no one says excuse me anymore. Work's become a 4-letter word. We don't say please or thank you or open up a door. And no one says excuse me anymore. Well, I'm sounding like an old cranky man. But I grew up on Pink Floyd and Steely Dan. And I never thought I'd say, these kids today. No one says excuse me anymore. I recall when I was young, prayers were read and hymns were sung. And that's what we thought church and school were for. But now we put God on a shelf. It's everybody for himself, and the golden rule got swept right out the door. And no one says excuse me anymore. Since Main Street got replaced by the Superstore, we're all too busy buying things we can't afford. No one says excuse me anymore. Now back in World War II, my grandpa fought on Guam. My neighbor lost his foot in Desert Storm. So excuse me if I ask you, what were they fighting for? Well, no one says excuse me anymore. I recall when I was young, prayers were read and hymns were sung. And that's what we thought church and school were for. Somehow we lost the human touch. We come so far and lost so much. And I can't help but wonder what's in store when no one says excuse me anymore. When no one says excuse me anymore. Thank you. Thank you very much. I have a long history coming to Monteagle, and every time I come here, I drive people through the Assembly. And for you wonderful people in Radio Land, the Assembly is a group of 160 houses. The charter was 1882, I think, and they built the first house here in 1883. And there are 160 of them built between 1883 and 1930, I believe. And Sunday school teachers, the first year, before they had houses, there were 1,000 people here in tents and stuff. So it's an honor for us to be in your home tonight. And Music City Roots is like a family as well. It's an old-fashioned type radio show. And every old-fashioned radio show needed a great announcer. Like the Shadow. I mean, the Shadow knows. And so we have one of the best announcers we could possibly get. I don't even have to look at that. He's a member of the Tennessee Disc Jockey Radio Hall of Fame. Yeah. Put your hands together for Mr. Keith Bilbrey.
Thank you. Thank you. Excuse me.
You're what?
You said nobody said excuse me anymore, so I said, excuse me.
Well, sometimes.
Or, excuse me.
That's a 1978 excuse
That's
me.
it.
I
That's
needed
it.
an arrow through my head.
That's a great song, though. I enjoyed that.
Thank you very much.
Very
nice. It's a pleasure being here. Between Keith and this fella to my right and your left, he's been called an implacable journalist, which means relentless and all this. But I'll tell you something about this guy. For years and years and years, I knew him as a journalist in Nashville at a number of papers or whatever, and you wanted an article from Craig Havighurst. He was one of the gatekeepers for Nashville artists, and if you got an article from Craig, you knew that that day was going to be a good day and that week was going to be a good week. Craig is the interviewer and lets you get to know the artist deeply. Put your hands together for Craig Havighurst.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, sir. Wow. Thanks, folks. I'm not in any halls of fame, though, because I'm too young.
That's it.
But maybe one day. Very kind of you. It's great to have you here, Greg. It's a treat to work with you in this way. You will be an artist and a host tonight, and that is fantastic. And as he said, we as a team and a family are delighted to be back here for a 4th year at Monteagle. The fireflies, as I wrote in the program, and the sounds wafting out into the night. It's going to be a special evening. Speaking of programs, if you didn't get one, they're on a shelf in the back, and we try to put together a bundle of information. We also tell you about some of our sponsors and partners, and I wrote a little essay that describes who you're going to be seeing tonight. So if you want to go grab them, and they are made possible by our friends at Dex Imaging, one of the few commercial moments we'll have tonight. But look up deximaging.com to find out more about them. They're good friends to have in the Nashville area. Music City Roots is now on WMOT 89.5 FM out of Murfreesboro from the campus of Middle Tennessee State University. The station flipped a year and a half ago to an all-Americana roots music format, and we're trying to keep our finger on the pulse of the new Nashville, the songwriters who are here tonight, the incredible roots and bluegrass situation that's going on in that town. Thanks to Virginia and Scott and everybody at Monteagle for making us feel welcome once again. We're thrilled to be back. It's our honor. Thanks. We have a wonderful lineup here tonight, and we're going to be ending the night, as we alluded to, one of the great bluegrass bands of the last 15 years, 2-time Entertainers of the Year at the International Bluegrass Music Association Awards. They're the Grascals.
Yeah!
Put your hands together for the Grascals. Nobody does it better. We're going to be hearing from a guy who's broken off from a bluegrass band. He's played bass with Ricky Skaggs' Kentucky Thunder for many years, all the while developing his own act. And he's a bass-playing songwriter. Don't see those every day, but boy, well, we've got one on stage right now coming up. But his name is Scott Mulvihill. Wait for Scott coming up. Give him a round of applause. And you'll be hearing a full set from Mr. Greg Hall. And Greg Hall is now going to tell you about our first artist, dear friends of mine.
I have met Doug and Talisha today, but I've been watching their videos on YouTube for a long time, and I'm just enjoying the heck out of it. And they're from Galax, Virginia? Galax?
From Martinsville, Virginia.
From Martinsville, Virginia. Country music sounds so good when it comes to families, and this couple is walking some of the same regional paths trod by the Carter family and Robin and Linda Williams. They happen to be Williams as well, Doug and Talisha. And they're searching artists who balance passion for modern music with the traditions of their Virginia roots. They have a gorgeous new album out called Galax, and they are the Wild Ponies. Put your hands together.
Thanks, y'all. Going to the wedding, Sally, I'm going to the wedding, Sally. right.
Monteagle.
Monteagle.
So much fun. Me and Talisha, we made a record that we just put out last summer and called Galax. And we went back to Galax, Virginia, where my family's from, up in the Appalachian Mountains of Virginia. And we took some of our buddies from Nashville, and we went to my grandparents' farm. Nobody lives there anymore. My grandparents both passed away, but we wanted to make a record there at the farm. So we took our friends Fats Kaplan and Will Kimbrough and Nielsen Hubbard from Nashville. And we met up in the shed back behind the farmhouse and met up with a bunch of old-time pickers that my grandfather used to play with, and just sat around in a circle and made some songs. And this is the one that started it all for us. It's about an old catawba tree there on the farm that we were watching when a storm was coming up. And it's called The Tower and the Wheel.
The old catawba stands alone with gnarled arms from broken bones, hatchet scars she's tucked beneath her barn. The air smells like metal, the leaves become unsettled, but their backs against the coming of the storm. Other trees relax their limbs, bend and weave with gusting winds as they stretch and limber up to not be torn. Pull close to what you know. Hold and let it go. Only in the end, when the winds are calm again, will they see whose roots have hailed, who they'll know. Dark fingers from the east stretch out with swift and swirling reach until they catch and choke the light out of the sun. Fold into a fist, beat the mercy from the hills with the thunder of wild ponies on the run. From dust to mud to clay, on the shoulders of the queen, the river takes the rain, holds on to all she can. She fears that she may drown before it's done. Lived and died in her front yard. Winter snows, summer nights, burning fires, electric lights, machines that turn to rust and fall apart. She's hailed 1,000 horses tied, sheltered brides and grooms who cried. She's watched as lovers made love beneath the stars. Rises in the fall. There's beauty to it all. Thick beneath the earth, she shakes her fists, says bring your worst. You're just a little wind and rain and dark. We wrote this next song about a little mama bird that's been coming to visit us in our East Nashville home for the past, she's come for about 5 years, and she starts showing up And then Daddy Bird starts showing up. We didn't know they were Mama and Daddy Bird at first, but now we do. And we've gotten to be friends, and she's probably given us 10 nests over the years. But when she first started...
Which also equates to stolen 10 ferns off of our front porch.
Right. We just buy sacrificial ferns at the beginning of the season. The Home Depot and Lowe's, they're even like, don't buy the ferns yet. It's too early. We're like, we know. These ferns are not for us. These ferns are for the house finches that need to build their nest. So we've gotten to be friends with little Mama Bird, but for the first couple of years, she tried to run us off our porch every time we'd come home from going to see music in Nashville. She don't pay no mind to the birds out on the line. Just sits and bides her time. She ain't got nothing to say. Stay out of her way. Mama bird, mama bird, mama bird. Mean old mama bird. She don't pay no mind to the birds out on the line. Little bits of string, lost a feather from a wing. She'll use anything to build the toughest nest where speckled eggs will rest. Mama bird, mama bird, mama bird, mean old mama bird. Little bits of string, lost feather from a wing. Pecking in the sun, gotta feed those little ones. Her work is never done, no time to fly around. Go out on the town. Mama bird, mama bird, mama bird, mean old mama bird. Time to fly around or go out on the town. Black snake in the yard, white cat in the dark, red hound always barks, blue jay in her side. She ain't afraid to fly. Mama bird, mama bird, mama bird, mean old mama bird. Blue jay in her side, she ain't afraid to fly. Little birds will grow, every mother knows the time for them to go. She'll push 'em out to fly, let 'em see her cry. Mama bird, mama bird, mama bird, mean old mama bird. She'll push 'em out to fly, won't let 'em see her cry. Mama bird, mama bird, mama bird, mean old mama bird. She don't pay no mind to the birds out on the line. She don't pay no mind. Birds out on the line. Thanks, y'all. That's Oliver Bates Craven on the fiddle.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So when we were making this record, because of the way we were putting it all together and just sitting in a circle playing music in a room, and we weren't listening back to anything we were doing, we just kind of played all together, and when it felt like we had a good take, we just went with it. And we didn't know until we got back to Nashville that we had made a record, and we were real excited that we had. But we had set aside a whole week to do this record, but by the second day, we only have one song left to record. Because when you play music live like that, it just moves real fast. And so we took the afternoon off because this next song is the last song we put on the record. And it needed to be recorded at night. It's just one of those nighttime songs. So we're just going to imagine that the sun has already set and that the stars are already coming out and the fireflies are starting to do their thing. But we went into the shed and we left the shed doors open so that a little breeze could still come through, and it was dark. And we had just eaten this beautiful meal that Doug's mom prepared, and we had pulled the picnic table out under the catawba tree that we sang about earlier. And we'd found some old empty mason jars sitting around the farmhouse. And we put candles in those mason jars, and we just built a big circle around us. And we hit record for this last track. And we didn't know till we got back from Nashville what all we had captured on this particular track, but the whole thing sort of starts with the sound of night, a summer night in the Blue Ridge Mountains. And then as the pedal steel comes in, you hear the tin roof of the shed kind of pop and crack as it's cooling down from the day. And somehow, I don't know how Nielsen Hubbard did it, but he captured the sound of twinkling stars on this record. It sounds better on the vinyl version, so if you're going to get one, I would pick the vinyl back there. But this song's called Hearts and Bones, and it just kind of reminds us of a time to just look at each other, have some conversations, just be kind, talk. Every heart beats and breaks. Every heart beats and breaks. Every heart beats and breaks. Hearts and bones. Hearts and bones. Bones will turn to dust. Bones will turn to dust. Bones will turn to dust. Bones and stars. Bones and stars. Stars all fade and fall. Stars all fade and fall. Stars all fade and fall. Stars and stones. Stars and stones. Stones as hard as hell. Stones as hard as hell. Stones as hard as hell. Stones and hearts. Stones and hearts.
Thanks, you guys. We're so excited to be back on Music City Roots. It's been a while since we've done it, and it's so fun to do the road show here in Monteagle. What a cool little place this is. It's a fun town. There's cool stuff going on here. So when we're making this Galax record, me and Talisha, it was fun for us. It's different from any record we've ever made in the past, and it was really fun for us to kind of go back, and the whole point of it was for us to kind of dig back into our Appalachian heritage and our roots and kind of where we had come from, and we still had a lot of family and friends there, and so it was easy for us to do that, even though we moved to Nashville. But one of the cool things, we had a friend who was putting out a record at the time, a guy named Ben Glover, who's a great songwriter, who's originally from Ireland. And he lives in Nashville now most of the year, but he goes back and forth. But his record was called The Immigrant because it was about his process of moving and leaving his country behind and coming to live in another country and coming to Nashville and what it felt like to go back to Ireland and back and forth. And since we were writing this whole record about kind of our journey back to home, you know, Ben's story really kind of resonated with us, so we sat down with him to write a song together about what that process felt like, because a lot of the folks from Ireland and Scotland and in the same areas where he was from came and settled in the Appalachian Mountains, and that was kind of our roots as well, so it was kind of taking our roots back, you know, one step further. And it was a cool thing for us, and it was a great reminder as we were writing songs for this record and getting ready to put it out, that even if we're going back into our Appalachian heritage, into our roots, no matter where you're from, somebody else is from somewhere else before you, and you know they came here before you did. It was just a beautiful reminder of that. You know, none of us just spring up out of the dirt right here in the Appalachian Mountains or anywhere else in the world for that matter. So this is a song for all the people who had the guts to do that, to leave their home and go branch out and try to find a new place. And it's called Maybe I'm the Stranger.
When the cord gets broke, just a pile of beads scattered by the breaking sea. Would they still know me? I wrap these arms around the coast. I try to not let go.
Thanks, y'all. We really appreciate it. Have a good night.
Check 1, 2. Give it up for the Wild Ponies. Wasn't that fantastic? Good gosh. Mr. Hall of Fame.
Oh, I'm telling you.
It's all yours.
We're off to, I hate to have to follow that act. Thanks a lot. Well, we want to thank all the great folks here at the Monteagle Assembly for being such gracious hosts to MCR. Came down yesterday and spent the night. I tell you, this place is just so fantastic. Yeah. We're staying up the Edgeworth Inn, and this morning I woke up and the rain was falling and hitting that tin roof. You're lucky I'm here, because I just about stayed in bed all day long. It was wonderful. We want to say thanks for our annual trip here. It's like stepping back in time in a magical, spiritual, peaceful world. We're proud to be welcome to do what we do here tonight at a very historic landmark in Middle Tennessee. You know, one of my favorite things about this place, there's no leash law. And I go out and make friends with all these little dogs. I love dogs. And there are dogs everywhere. You don't buy a diamond every day, but when that special time comes, just remember you've got good friends in the diamond business who just happens to have a product on the cutting edge of the diamond industry. Go to the web, star129.com, to learn why and how the Star 129 was created to literally outshine ordinary diamonds. Just take a look at those before and after photos of diamonds that were recut into Star 129s. Absolutely stunning. Now, here in Nashville, there's Star 129 diamonds available exclusively at Forster's Diamond Outlet. If you're in the Hickory Hollow neighborhood, stop by and see a live comparison. You will not believe your eyes. Now, if you're not in Nashville, you can find a list of Star 129 dealers all around the country by going to star129.com. Check it out. Now, here's our own Star 129 diamond. He always shines. It's Craig Havockhurst over in the chat room.
I'm not going to make it through the night. Thank you, Keith Bilbrey. Folks, keep the applause going for Danny Roberts, mandolin player for the Grascals.
Thank you.
There are, I believe, 6 Grascals in total?
There are 6.
We have 1/6 of the band up here. You get to speak for them and about them.
And I'll say whatever I want.
Exactly. They're not listening. The band will hit its 15th birthday next year. Give folks just the big picture background. Formed about 2004.
Right.
Were you part of the original?
Oh, yes.
lineup?
Yeah, from the get-go. We, in 2000, like I say, 2004, we started the band, and just kind of, at that time, I was actually working with Ronnie Reno, and just wasn't working a lot, and my buddy Jimmy Mattingly, he was in the original thing with the two Terrys and Jamie Johnson. He called me and said, we'd like to get you some mandolin in this band we're starting. I said, let's go. So we went, we're in the studio working on our first record, was recording our first song, and we were using the same engineer that Dolly Parton uses, and Patrick Murphy. And one day Dolly was in there and he played her some of our music, and she called Jimmy and she was like, I've been listening to your band, Jimmy. And she said, I'm getting ready to do a tour, and I would love for you all to come out and open the show and then go back, change some clothes, and come out and be my band. So needless to say, it was a real nice way for us to help her career out real quick right there.
And yeah, but she was doing the bluegrass phase of her career at that point. She, you know, I mean, in a sense, she never went back to bluegrass. She actually dove into a form of music that was indigenous to where she's from, and that you knew that she knew and that had woven through her music. But when she really stripped down and did that Grass is Blue album, and we went, this is the real thing.
Right.
You know, we had no doubt that it would be, but it was just so extraordinary. And tell me this, when you formed the band, did you play live a lot before you made the record, or did you start with a record to give the material to go out on the road?
We actually, when we got ready to form the band with her, she said, I want to record a record, and the record we recorded with her was, I think it's called Those Were the Days. And she said, but I don't want to go in the studio and hand out charts. I want us to all to get together and learn the material. Good. So we all we went every day for a couple of weeks, or probably more than that, 3 or 4 weeks, to the office, and I'll sit there in a circle, and she sat there with a microphone and a amplifier so it wouldn't blow her voice out, and we worked up the songs and got them ready, and then went in the studio and recorded them, and then went on tour. It was
what a fun
great.
process.
It was awesome.
Aside from that chapter, how have the Grascals conceived of themselves in the bluegrass universe? What part of the music history are you most interested in preserving? What sound, and where are you interested in stretching the boundaries?
Well, I think we definitely want to keep the tradition of like the harmonies. The Osborne brothers, of course, have been a huge influence on the Grascals. 2 of the members, Terry Smith, Terry Eldridge, between them spent 25 years with the Osborne brothers. So that is a huge influence on what we do. Another thing, when we first started the band, it was shortly after Bobby and Sonny were apart, and Bobby actually went out with us quite a bit and would do shows with us and stuff. So we would love to keep that going. And one of the things we said when we started the band is we weren't going to try to do what we thought people wanted to hear. The Grascals have always done music that we enjoy singing and playing. So that's why when you hear one of our records, you might hear a traditional Osborne Brothers type song or Monroe or Flatt and Scruggs, but then you might hear an Elvis song, a Beatles song, a Monkey song. We have recorded all different kind of things like that because we just like to have a great time.
These guys do a version of Last Train to Clarksville, which I loved as a teenager, just have loved all my life, and it absolutely kicks butt. It's just the perfect bluegrass pop crossover tune. You made a record Before Breakfast as your most recent recording from 2017. A peculiar theme, a very short book of what goes on before breakfast. This is a very thin sliver of life. Without breakfast, nothing really happens. What inspired the theme?
Well, actually, there's a song on there called Clear Corn Liquor, and in that song, we the writers of it, Tim Stafford and a couple other guys wrote it, and they played whiskey before breakfast.
Yeah, right.
In that, so we put that in, and the record label actually, Mickey Gamble over at Mountain Home Records is one that said, we kind of think it'd be cool to call it Grascals Before Breakfast and just have you guys sitting around with coffee, and it's like, let's do that. Sounds fine with us.
Perfect. Before we move on, I want folks to know about Kristen Scott Benson, who will come out with you later. Won Banjo Player of the Year, I believe, 3 times.
Four
times?
4 at IBMA
and lost count.
And 5 at Spigma, so she does pretty good.
Yeah, so talk about integrating her into the band, one of the more recent additions, but it's been a little while now, but she's an extraordinary musician.
Yeah, she was great. It's been, she's been close to 10 years with us now, which it seems amazing. It goes by that quickly, but when we found ourselves looking for a banjo player, we had a lot of people talking to us about it, and Sonny Osborne actually called the guys and said, have you guys thought about Kristen Scott Benson? And I think Kristen actually, I knew Kristen so well. Her first job was playing with my wife in her band, Petticoat Junction. So when Kristen was 17 years old, she was coming to our house and spending the night and going out on the road with Andrea and stuff. So when Sonny mentioned it and to us, I was like, she's one of the best I've ever heard. She would be great. And she's come into this group, and it wouldn't be the same without her. We're tickled to death with her.
Great stuff. It's a tremendous band, and you'll see them shortly. The Grascals, ladies and gentlemen. Danny Roberts, mandolin player, and thanks for being a part of our show.
Thank you, Craig.
All right.
Appreciate you, pal.
Now, I get to introduce our next artist. This is going to be fun. Make sure I have my notes. I may not need them, but it's been such a joy to get to know this guy. He's a fine fellow and a funny fellow, and never quite seen anybody put together the funny stuff and the tender stuff quite so effectively. And so we met him, I don't know, a year and a half ago at Music City Roots, and he's just been part of the tribe ever since. So folks, please put your hands together for our buddy Greg Hall.
Thank y'all. What a great turnout. What a great turnout. Anyone from out of town in the front? Any? Where are you from? Clarksville? Say that again? Huntsville. I've got a cousin in Huntsville who lives in a gated community there. He's in jail there. And so awesome. I love Huntsville. I play Birmingham, the Stardome, all the time there. I'm going to sing a song written by the late, great Rich Fagan and myself. And Rich, I don't know if we're in Grundy County right now. Are we? Rich is the guy who wrote the Grundy County auction sale for John Michael Montgomery. And Rich was a wonderful mentor, and we wanted to write a song about how every guy at one time in his life has probably said, man, I wish I'd have been a better person at that particular point. So, well, you don't drink anymore, and I don't drink any less. It's not like it was before. Maybe it's all for the best. Well, I know you're ready to leave. I'm not gonna beg you to stay. This time it's not about me, and I won't stand in your way. I'll let you go and hide this hurt with a smile. At least I'm lucky to know you were mine for a while. Someday I'll get it all together, become the man you want me to be. And someday I'll turn my life around, and then you'll see. And maybe when I do, someday you'll come back to me. Well, I know you'll be all right. Somehow you've always been strong. I'm finally seeing tonight what a fool I've been all along. And I should have known when we met I couldn't keep living this way. That love is so much more than a word. It's being willing to change. And it's not easy watching you walk away. And it's too late to do anything but just pray. And someday I'll get it all together, become the man you want me to be. And someday I'll turn my life around, and then you'll see. And maybe when I do, someday you'll come back to me. We'll go on and be free. I can't complain after all you've given me. And someday I'll get it all together, become the man you want me to be. And someday I'll turn my life around, and then you'll see. And maybe when I do, someday you'll come back to me. Oh, now, maybe when I do, someday you'll come back to me. Thank y'all. I love coming up here. I love the fiery gizzard. But I'm not going to walk the 11 miles. I will walk the first half mile to the first waterfall, jump in, then turn around and walk back. Apparently, I'm missing 10 and a half more additional lovely miles. And I love All Saints Chapel at Swanee. I tell all my friends, I say, man, architecturally, it's the closest thing to Europe within 500 miles. Go see the All Saints Chapel. Such a spiritual peaceful place here. I've been doing stand-up comedy. I've been playing comedy clubs for about 15 or 16 years for a living. But before that, for 10 years, I was a singer-songwriter who had 3 albums that sold over 9 dozen copies globally over a 6-year period. And thanks. And so I'm going to play a very old song. I got to go to my second album like in 1990 or something. I think I was 7. I got to go to London and play, and I got to see The Who at Wembley Arena, which was awesome. So after that, I wanted to write kind of a London-y song. And that's when this came out. The sun winks, the dew blinks, and the morning world turns on with an open eye. The golden rays, a halo's days surround a flannel-covered angel where you lie. The church bell chimed at least 4 times before the candle and the passion melted out. And greater beauty I'd never seen till you were wrapped up in the dreams. And when I saw you bathed in the early morning light, and it was right then and there I knew I'd be spending my time with you. You see, I've traveled the world and elsewhere, and I've had every kind of twirl. But wow, you're some girl. Daytime brings, among other things, antique stores as we stroll hand in glove. A shopkeeper there around Grosvenor Square inquires just how long we've been in love. You're Pair Jean's best friend, but that night you did us in a dress so fine, the penguins stopped and stared like Cinderella's ball, without the drama call, and your shoes stayed on until we got back home. And it was right then and there I knew I'd be spending my time with you. You see, I've traveled the world and elsewhere, and I've had every kind of twirl. But wow, you're some girl. You see, I've traveled the world and elsewhere, and I've had every kind of twirl. Some girl. It is great to be playing music again. I'm going to do my first musical album in 15 years. We've started it, and it's going to come out, and I'm thinking about calling it AARPAL. I don't know, because AARP, yeah, because it's been a long time since I put out an album. And I was thinking about getting older, and I was thinking about Sears Catalog Christmases and rotary dial phones and yard darts. You know, if you were taken out by a yard dart, chances are you needed to leave anyway. But I got to thinking about Jack and Diane and how that song is like 32 years old, and how Jack and Diane are not the same Jack and Diane that once roamed. And as a parodist, I could have just gone, little ditty about Jack and Diane. But as a kind of guitar player, I wanted to see if I could pull off that. Little ditty about Jack and Diane, two American seniors doing the best they can. Jackie used to be a football star. Now he wears a catheter, keeps his teeth in a jar. All right, now. Sucking on chili dogs outside the retirement home. Diane sitting in Jackie's lap, got her adult diapers on. Jackie kicks back, collects his thoughts for a moment, then realizes it's getting hard to collect his thoughts for a moment. Nah, nah, nah. Ooh, life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone. I didn't even have to change that line. And I was thinking, man, this song could go pretty much anywhere. Little ditty about Jack and Diane, dropped out of high school, now they live in a van. Working like up here. Okay, they were cooking meth to feed their desire. Jackie dropped the beaker and the trailer caught on fire. Now, now, now. Ooh, life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone. She walked on. That's it. Thank you. Wow. Thank you. You know, I was reading the charter on this place, and it said that it was established to learn more about, I think it said science, literary advancement, the teachings of a caring, loving God, that the only reason I breathe is because of grace. And I had a car wreck right before I started comedy, and I had 137 stitches right here. I went through the windshield and it yanked my head back, and the doctor told me there was no additional brain damage as to when I went in the hospital, and I was very thankful for that. And so I kind of wrote God a letter. This was like 20 years ago, and I put it into a song, and I had a friend request this song. This is an oldie. But it was just kind of me being in awe of God's grace. Well, I've caused dissension with my brothers. I've been the pride and the fool of my mother. And I still don't get my father, but I love him because it's right. And I've owed lots of good people money. I've rained on friends when it was sunny. And I lied because it was funny, but no one's laughing now. Lord, tell me I've done all these things to find the light in me. 'Cause this kind of stuff can put you down. And tell me one more time, God, this is the best day of my life. I just might believe you after a while. Well, I've lived my life on the road to ruin. I've squandered what I've been given. Now I'm reaping what I've been sowing, and the crops have left me dazed. If these are lessons, then let me learn them, 'cause there's one too many bridges burning. And I lost it all to start the turning to all the good in me. Lord, tell me I've done all these things to find the light in me, 'cause this kind of stuff can put you down. And tell me one more time, God, this is the best day of my life. I just might believe you after a while. Well, rough men don't want to slight me. Their maidens want to delight me. Frankincense and gold surround me, but they all don't mean a thing. She was my light straight from heaven to walk with me in good direction, but I tarnished the connection, and now her light is gone. Lord, tell me I've lost all these things to find the light in me, 'cause this kind of stuff can put you down. And tell me one more time, God, this is the best day of my life. I just might believe you this time. This time, well, I just might believe you this time. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, man. What a wonderful show. I've got about 8 more minutes, I think, up here, don't I? Good. I'll play a song and a half. Let's see. I've got a song that's got that new mobile home smell all over it. And I'm going to try to play it now. Never played it in public. The guy who wrote that song, Old Red, by Blake Shelton, about that dog, and he also wrote Angels Among Us by Alabama. He and I were messing around with something, and bless the children for believing a happy ending lies ahead. When tomorrow brings its sorrow, well, they'll find heartache all by themselves. In every life we laugh, we cry, love blooms and dies. Rain must fall, heaven calls. In every life, Revelation is understanding. Destination's not the goal. Days are pages of people and places, and each year's a chapter when the story's told. In every life we laugh, we cry, love blooms and dies. Rain must fall, heaven calls. In every life, someday these children, they too will find the dust and memories are all we leave behind. In every life we laugh, we cry, love blooms and dies. Rain must fall, heaven calls. In every life. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to do one more song. You people are wonderful. This is, I want to thank Music City Roots for making me part of the family. They're just wonderful, and I'm honored to be up here. And this is my first time to host it. And I'm somewhat nervous as a baby goat in a Walmart, but I think it's going well. Y'all are making it feel really good. And so thank you to the staff of Roots and all the great players. I mentioned the guy named Richard Fagan. Richard was a mentor of mine, and he'd written all those hit songs for Strait and John Michael and all that. Richie was in hospice. He had 2 weeks left to live, and he and I wrote the last song that Rich ever wrote. And I thought these were phenomenally brave lyrics for a man who knew what was about to happen. And it's just, and to change subject, it's just a joy to be here tonight. Rich like Grundy County. When you're stumbling through the darkness, or feeling lost and all alone, and when the world is on your shoulders, and it's hard to carry on, when you're drowning in your pain and loneliness, and you feel like giving up, just remember this: love is stronger than your fear. Well, faith is stronger than your doubt. Light is stronger than the darkness. Don't let your light go out. When you're beaten down and broken, well, tangled up in your despair, and when you're searching for an answer, and you've tried everything but prayer, that's when you need the strength to get down on your knees, and you'll find your miracle if only you believe. Love is stronger than your fear. Faith is stronger than your doubt. Light is stronger than the darkness. Don't let your light go out. It's hard to see heaven when you're staring at the ground. Lay your burden down, and He'll turn it all around. 'Cause love is stronger than your fear. Faith is stronger than your doubt. light is stronger than the darkness. Don't let your light go out. Don't let your light go out. Thank you, Monteagle Assembly.
Greg Hall, ladies and gentlemen. Wasn't that good? Woo!
I wish I was funny, Keith.
I do too.
I wish I.
You are funny, just in your own way. Trust me. All right. Okay. You know what? It's time to. We're at that time in the program when I'm supposed to pause, and we're supposed to pause for station identification. So everybody pause. Okay, that's it. No, I'm supposed to say you're listening to Roots Radio, 89.5 WMOT, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Americana, deep and wide. Please remember to support public radio. Find your way to WMOT.org and press that donate button. That's very important. It can get you invited to private members' events like Wired In with Jesse Scott, one of the best programs on the radio, I guarantee you. This Tuesday, June 26th, she's going to be at City Winery with Margot Price and Jeff Plankenhorn. Learn more at WMOT.org, and I'm excited to be starting a new show on WMOT. It's going to debut in a few weeks. We're slowly getting it all together. I know I've been promising that for a while, but it's going to happen. Stay tuned for Keith's Country on Roots Radio. And, well, thank you. Wait a minute, you haven't heard it yet. You may not like it at all. I don't know. Speaking of WMOT, we'd like to give a shout out to Acceptance Auto Insurance, who not only supports our nationwide PBS television series, they also underwrite the Acceptance Morning Ride on WMOT, and we're very grateful for that. Weekdays, 6 to 9 a.m. with your witness. With 12 offices around Middle Tennessee and 400 across the country, wherever your song takes you, Acceptance has you covered. Learn more at acceptance.com. Your terms, accepted. The same way we accept Craig Havikhurst on his terms. You got to do that with Craig.
Right.
What's going on in the chat
Whatever
room?
he said, it's a big blur over here. Thanks, Keith. Folks, these guys did a wonderful job opening the show, as they always do. The Wild Ponies are back. Say hi to them.
Thank you.
Doug and Talisha Williams. Residents now of East Nashville, Tennessee, but originally from Virginia, as we described. Could you guys give the superhero origin story? Were you a couple before you were musical, or were you musical before you were a couple?
It all happened at the same time.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's true. We started playing music together in a rock and roll cover band in high school. It's a true story. And then we started dating. Yeah. And here we are in Monteagle.
Just 3 years later.
Zip.
Just kidding.
When did traditional music and old-time country music and that wonderful sound of the fiddle become both part of your lives and then part of the music you were making?
We were born in an area where you didn't really have a choice. I didn't understand that other people didn't play either banjo or fiddle or guitar. I mean, that's what I thought you did. You know, what everybody did when growing up. My grandparents, had me around music, and my mom played and sang and wrote songs, and my aunt did. Everybody in my family played, and yeah, so pretty much always.
There's actually an adorable picture of Doug when he was 5 years old on the stage at the Galax Old Time Fiddlers Convention. Blonde curls, just adorable, playing the banjo. Yeah. It exists.
The Galax Fiddlers Convention has been going on 80 some years now.
It's in the mid-80s.
And there's many fiddlers conventions. It's the mothership. Can you describe it for folks who've not heard of it or not been there?
Well, it was a rite of passage when Doug and I started dating. Like that was the final litmus test. Like if I could go to the Fiddlers Convention and survive
With my family.
with Doug's family, I was in for life. So it is just a scene. There are picking circles everywhere. People drive in, start forming a line about a week ahead of time to get into Felts Park, and it is 24/7 jamming. It is amazing. You'll hear some of the best music you've ever heard at the
Just on the sidelines, let alone on the main stage.
The main stage is only competitions. They don't even book bands to come play. The main stage is only competitions. But like we were at my grandfather's horse trailer always parked at the same place every year, right across from the permanent toilets, right behind the YMCA. That's where they held him a spot there, and his horse trailer was always there. And we were sitting in a jam circle playing one night, and my mom was singing. And, Bruce Hornsby's standing behind her, looking over her shoulder, listening in. I mean, and that kind of thing happened all the time there. There's all kinds of famous people wandering around, but none of them were on stage. It was a very interactive thing, which was cool.
Well, I zero in on Galax because it's the title of the record you put out last year. Just love it so much. And while you never resided in Galax per se, it was family turf.
Yeah.
Your grandfather's place? Right?
My grandfather's place, and it's still there. Nobody lives there anymore, but we get there as often as we can. Me and Talisha have started doing some creativity workshops there. We're taking people there and doing creativity workshops, which has been really good. And we just felt like there's a place we wanted to make that record. We wanted to get back and experience the place and kind of capture that sound and the feeling of that shed where we learned how to play, and that real honest reverb coming off the tin roof in the shed, and that's what we did.
Well, I love that you brought musicians from Nashville that you knew well, and then made sure that you had the locals represented. And so it was a coming together of two music cultures.
It was coming together of a lot of them. Yeah, it was for sure. But which was great. Fats Kaplan, who he's on the road with John Prine right now. He was touring with Jack White at the time, so playing these massive stadiums. And he was raised in New York City and had always wanted to go to Galax. He had wanted to go to Galax his entire life. So for him, it was a thrill to get to go and hang out in Galax and meet these old-time pickers. So much so that even after we made the record, a couple of months later, we decided, me and Talisha and Fats and Nielsen, we went back to Galax to have a jam in Snake's basement, just to hang out with Snake.
Well, you mentioned Snake, so you got to tell
Snake
folks
Smith.
about Snake.
Snake Smith is one of the best. He has the best right-hand rhythm guitar player in the entire world. And his son Kyle Dean is just a phenomenal multi-instrumentalist, mostly a banjo player, but a phenomenal multi-instrumentalist.
We actually have back there at the merch table, we have a copy of the No Depression journal that was released. They did an Appalachian episode as the journal, as the spring journal, and it has a feature of the project, and there are pictures of Snake and of where we were doing this, and we've got a few copies back there.
Your producer, Nielsen Hubbard, the guy who literally put up the microphones, also took the photos, and this is a true, this magazine, No Depression, been around a long, long time, but they are, it's a beautiful production. I mean, when they say it's a photo spread, it's like one should be in a magazine. So please do have a look, and have a look at the cover of the Galax LP too. It is amazing design.
It's Doug's grandmother. It's from
a
picture of Doug's grandmother when she was a young woman, and a friend of ours back home in Martinsville, Virginia, designed the cover, and she wove all kinds of Wild Pony secrets into the imagery of the record. So it's really fun.
Well, before we wrap up, anything you're ready to preview coming up in the rest of the year or next year? What are your plans right now?
Well, we are getting ready, just in a few short weeks, we are getting ready for our 5th annual Wild Ponies Kentucky Bourbon Trail Ride, which is, we've been doing this for 5 years. It's a fan adventure. We take a bus full of folks up to Louisville, Kentucky, and tour around some distilleries, and we have a concert and jam, and spend the whole weekend together. It's a blast.
We've got, how many seats are left? Like 5? 6. There's 6 seats left. So if you want to go.
How many?
It's almost sold out. You just got back from New Orleans.
Yep.
And me and Talisha are leaving. This is not music or not business related. We're heading down Sunday to New Orleans by ourselves for a few days for vacation. So
I tell
that's
you,
the other thing we're
if
doing.
I could have left the family behind, once I sent them on the plane and said I'll be up in a week, and found a little cabin,
we could have hung out,
little house, little attic, grotto to write. Yeah,
that's what we're gonna try. We're gonna go write. That's what we want to do, is go down there and write a little bit. Yeah.
Thanks, Doug and Talisha.
Thanks, Greg.
Wild Ponies, get that record and watch for them. Brilliant music. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Well, I could introduce him, but I won't. That's our friend Greg's job. Here he comes.
What up? How are you, Craig? So I got, you know, it's going to be a pleasure introducing you. When you say that someone played with Ricky Skaggs at like the age of 22 or something, that's like saying you played with Yo-Yo Ma or something. I mean, you've got to be, I couldn't eat with a fork till I was 11, and you are playing with Ricky Skaggs at the age of 22 and 23. And your songwriting since then, and your bass playing, and a lot of bass players have stepped out in front. You know, Sting did it, Phil Lynott for Thin Lizzy did it, and a number of other people. I've never seen someone with your vocal skills and your bass skills do this. I loved watching your stuff, and you sold out the City Winery in Nashville, didn't you?
That's right. Yeah,
for next
January.
week.
Yeah.
When a bass player steps to the front of the stage announcing he or she has something to say, there are two advantages. One is upending expectations. The other is having a big instrument to knock anyone out of the way who needs to be knocked. But this guy didn't need to force anything. After years supporting Ricky Skaggs, those close to him knew he was ready for his time in the spotlight as a songwriter and singer. He's just exceptional, and you are. And we're proud to bring him back to Roots. Please welcome Scott Mulvahill.
Thank you, Greg. Let's see. All right, there it is. Y'all doing good? All right. So am I. All right. There's nothing like a blank page. You get to start from scratch. It could be anything, man, there's no catch. It's a good place for a dreamer, a good place for a dreamer to dream away. Oh, a blank page. There's nothing like a clean slate. You get another shot. To do things like you meant to the first time you picked up the chalk. It's a good day for a sinner, a good day for a sinner, so why wait? Oh, for a clean slate. Sometimes I get caught up where I never meant to be. It's the curse of being free, the curse of being free. But baby, it's a good day for the travelers and the sinners, all the would-be winners, the everyday begin againers. Begin againers. There's nothing like a full tank in an open road. Cause every destination is between somewhere and somewhere else in this great nation, and it's your world. It's a good thing for a traveler, a good thing for a traveler, like cash in the bank. A full tank. Sometimes I get caught up where I never meant to be. It's the curse of being free, the curse of being free. But baby, it's a good day for the travelers and the sinners, all the would-be winners, the everyday begin againers. Begin againers. Whoa. We have bass now. All right. Well, thank you so much. Welcome the band. This is called Top of the Stairs. It's from an EP that I released last fall. It's the title track. I'd rather be a speck in the sky than never get the chance to shine. Rather be a speck in the sky. I'd rather finish dead last place and never get to run the race. Rather finish dead last place. You're living if you're trying, even if you're not flying, but standing still is still just dying. I may never make it in, I don't care. Gonna keep climbing till I run out of air. I may never make it in, I don't care. It's all about steps, not the top of the stairs. I'd rather be a speck in the sky than never get the chance to shine. I'd rather be a speck in the sky. And I'd rather have you laughing behind my back, saying what a joke, put your head on the tracks. I'd rather have you laughing behind my back than live in your box, too scared to act. I may never make it in, I don't care. Gotta keep climbing till I run out of air. I may never make it in, I don't care. It's all about steps, not the top of the stairs. I may never make it in, I don't care. Gotta keep climbing till I run out of air. I may never make it in, I don't care. It's all about steps, not the top of the stairs. Living if you're trying, even if you're not flying, but standing still is still just dying. I may never make it in, I don't care. Gotta keep climbing till I run out of air. I may never make it in, I don't care. It's all about steps, not the top of the stairs. I may never make it in, I don't care. Gotta keep climbing till I run out of air. I may never make it in, I don't care. It's all about steps, not the top of the stairs. Thank you so much. Well, Greg mentioned that I toured with Ricky Skaggs for about 5.5 years, and I actually just left in November to do this, what you're witnessing now. But those years with Ricky and Kentucky Thunder were some of the best of my life, and I learned so much, and played a lot of that, and but one thing I got to do with him, and he was very kind to let me sing a song in the show, and so we had this pretty cool arrangement of the song 2020 Vision, and this was something we had worked up and played when we were on the road with Bruce Hornsby, and after that tour was over, he let me sing it in the show, and so we kept doing it. So I've kind of taken that song, because it was actually the first song that I ever used to sing and play bass at the same time. And so we're going to do it for you, and it's 2020 Vision. doctor, he said I'm alright. But I know he's lying, I'm losing my sight. He should have examined the eyes of my mind. 20/20 vision and I'm walking around blind. Since she left me, I feel so alone. I carry a heart that is heavy as stone. I knew she cheated, I knew all the time. 20/20 vision and I'm walking around blind. With my eyes wide open, I lay in my bed. If it wasn't for dying, I don't wish I was dead. But this is my punishment, death is too kind. 20/20 vision and I'm walking around blind. Just couldn't know her the way that I do. That you're not happy if she's there with you. But one thing I do know is she's no longer mine. 20/20 vision and I'm walking around blind. Yes, I'm walking round blind. Thank you. Does anyone know if you're allowed to play a fretless electric bass at a Music City Roots show?
You're not allowed.
Not allowed? Okay, okay. Well, I'll be hearing from AJ after this, I'm sure, you know. Rebel, yeah. No, I'm sure I got up here with an upright bass just by myself, and you were all wondering what was about to happen, and that's a fair point. But, you know, I just... bass is kind of where I like to live. I also play guitar and a little bit of a few other instruments, but
but it's the most fun. It's definitely the tallest instrument, so it's kind of like a dance partner, you know.
It always says yes.
Yeah, that's so. Yeah, you can't get turned down. All right, this is a song called "Gold-Plated Lie."
From paradise lost when it comes to bargains on the walls. Here's an offer that'll light your fuse. Step right up, you got nothing to lose. Down and desperate you must be. If you're here and you come to me, say the words and I'll pull my strings. I'll take care of everything. Sign your name, make your seal, take my hand, we have a deal. Your soul is traded for my gold-plated Well, maybe you want a rich man's life, maybe you want your neighbor's wife. I got all that in the palm of my hand. Listen up, now here's the plan. Just blaze the path I set you on. Use your friends as stepping stones. If you hear a cry for help, don't stop. You're getting closer to the top. Sign your name, make your seal, take my hand. We have a deal. Your soul is traded for my gold-plated Caesar's empire had no end. Pharaoh's pyramid still stands. I set you up to take it all. Of course I never let you fall. Thank you. That's Alex Labrie on the guitar. Chris Benelli on the drum. And Stevie Reese on fiddle and harmonica.
think I've got time for one more song. Is anyone in the Chattanooga area? There's one. Two, okay, good. Well, I'm playing in Chattanooga tomorrow at the Songbirds Guitar Museum. So that's a really, really cool spot. They have, I think, one of the biggest collections in the nation, if not the world, of vintage Gibson and Fender guitars. And so it's a very distracting place to play because you're trying to like put on a show and you're just drooling over these instruments you could never afford. But I'll be there tomorrow night, and if any of you guys are in the Chattanooga area or know a friend and want to see the whole show, long show, we'll be there tomorrow night, and then at Lake Oconee at the Ritz-Carlton, another free show on Sunday night. So thank you so much for listening. It's really been a pleasure. Yeah, appreciate it. I do have CDs and T-shirts in the back. I think I have 23 CDs left in the world. So, you know, if you want to take them all off my hands, I won't complain. I'm gonna play you a song that I included on my EP and is also going to be the title track of my forthcoming full-length album. This is a very special song to me. It's called Himalayas. And I wrote it in the Rockies.
I have stood still for too long, made excuses, and looked on from the sidelines, getting too comfortable. I have waited in this place while the years fly in my face. I am ready, ready to trade it all. I wanna go where I never been. Gotta know what I've been missing. I wanna come back different. Home is wherever I wake up. Hollywood to the Himalayas. I gotta find out what I'm made of and go where I've never been. Go where I've never been. Oh, I have run out of meaning. I am starving for feeling. My hands are reaching as I finally dare to dream. And I've been put on this mission, giving myself to the vision. My heart's begging to break at the seams. I wanna go where I've never been. Gotta know what I've been missing. I wanna come back different. Home is wherever I wake up. Hollywood to the Himalayas. I gotta find out what I'm made of and go where I've never been. 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 I have stood still for too long. Stood still for too long. I have stood still for too long. I wanna go where I've never been. Gotta know what I've been missing. I wanna come back different. Oh, home is wherever I wake up. Hollywood to the Himalayas. I gotta find out what I'm made of and go where I've never been. Go where I've never been. Go where I've never been. Go where I've never been.
Thank you so much. Very good to be with you guys. Thank you.
Come here, Will. Scott Mulvahill, give it up. Was that great? Oh my goodness. Oh, and I would be remiss to mention, I thought my agent was going to come up on stage for a second. Will, come here, Will. Come here, Will. Get over here. Ladies and gentlemen, my booking agent for the well, you can just see him. Scott, that was incredible. One more hand for Scott. That's unbelievable. And before I throw it to Keith, I would be remiss in not saying that each of these artists have T-shirts and CDs and stuff like that for sale at the back table. So if you dig it and you want to take them home with you, that's a good way to do it. And sir, it's all yours.
All right, thank you very much. Music City Roots receives support for this broadcast from businesses that are leaders in our community, like Ascend Federal Credit Union. Ascend offers convenient online account access, bill payment, and statements with an app to access your accounts on the go. Visit ascendfcu.org to register for e-services from Ascend. Ascend Federal Credit Union, raising possibilities. Ascend is federally insured by the NCUA. Membership is limited. So we go back over to the chat room right now, and Greg Haverhurst is over there. What's going on,
to
Greg?
go. Look how fast he turned it around. I get to say this one more time for Scott Mulvihill. Is that amazing or what?
Thank you.
Man. The act has developed since last I saw it.
I hope so. It's been at least 3 years.
About 2 or 3 years. Really curious about the sequence of events in your life as you got to find your musical footing. I imagine you were a songwriter before the Ricky Skaggs bluegrass band road gig, right?
Yes,
But no one would turn down that job because it's,
Well, it's interesting because I came to Nashville with the idea of writing and playing. I've actually been a bass player longer than I've written songs or sung, and so it's all dear to my heart. So there was never a tension there as far as does this take away from what I'm doing? It's all an opportunity to grow and learn.
Had you played in a bluegrass band before Ricky Skaggs and Kentucky Thunder?
Not one single time.
Yeah. And that's a big ensemble. It's one of the loudest and most full-bodied bluegrass bands out there, and they play a lot of heavy tempos, as you demonstrated. Just what are your takeaways about the experience, the musical experience of being in that amazing ensemble?
Well, it was just a standard to rise to, and Ricky is a true master of a genre, which it's rare to get to play any genre of music with a true master. It's like playing jazz with Miles Davis. You get to see their artistry at work, and it's an incredible thing. So I learned a lot about bluegrass, but just a lot about music and arrangement. And with Ricky, he has a really great sense of what belongs in his music and what doesn't, and so it becomes a specific sound,
And he's the newest member of the Country Music Hall of Fame.
Yes, indeed, yeah.
Have you gotten to chat with him since that happened?
I congratulated him, yeah.
Great.
Send him a little note.
Where are you from originally?
Houston, outside of Houston, a town called Friendswood, Texas, which...
Okay. what about the blend of music that is indigenous to that area? You've got classic Texas country music and Western swing, and you've got a lot of Latino music and Mexican music and Tex-Mex, and some surprises too. How did you fit in? What were you receiving and wanting to be?
You know, I actually had almost no contact with what you mentioned. You know, the Texas music scene, the Latino. It was really one teacher that was in my life and that guided me towards playing jazz music and playing. You know, it was like guitar lessons and bass lessons. You know, it was very normal, like kind of. I don't have some crazy story other than just being inspired by somebody and made to believe that, hey,
dude,
this is
being a
something
21st century kid who gets schooled in jazz, that's a crazy story.
Yeah.
Which I wish happened more often.
Yeah.
Because when I was younger, I played, the bass was my first instrument outside of classical lessons, and it was the first instrument that I got to participate in jazz, and then where I first saw a chord chart, and my teacher then gave me this way of listening to any band, really, but almost any band from the bass up. And I became aware of the role the bass played in keeping time. Sometimes the bass player is more the drummer than the drummer in jazz, and then you're playing a harmonic role, and yet they don't get a lot of the attention. Was there something about the role the instrument played, the way and you even remarked on it briefly, but the way it felt in the band that drew you to it viscerally?
You know, the bass, I think I'm just drawn to the, it's just so simple, but just the sound, it's so robust and fat and big and juicy, and it just draws me in, and it's really rich even just to hit one note and kind of listen to it, you know, and so to me it's the texture and the and because it's a hard instrument to play, it's so when my heroes are doing things on a bass that would normally be done on a guitar or a horn or something, it's even more impressive to me, and that's, I think I was drawn to that challenge aspect of it too. Yeah,
playing funky on an upright bass is trickier than it is on an electric bass, because we have to dig in a little harder. But when you do it right, it's right. What are you? How is being with the band helping you realize your vision and touring, and you know, you must be having a really good year because of this great quartet.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm glad you think so. Stevie is the only one who's played with me before. Actually, Chris and Alex are newcomers. So
okay,
yeah. So I
want to hire this band.
It just I've had to, you know, I've gotten to work on my band leading chops and try to bring people up to speed. Which there's so many great players in Nashville too. They make it easy, and they, you know, but. Some songs lend itself to solo things. Some songs lend itself to a group arrangement, and it's fun to explore all avenues there. And what about writing? Where you've released an EP, and then, you know, how do you project out the next year or two for what you want to do as an artist? Well, I'm planning to release a full-length record in the fall, so we're making the plans for that right now, and like I said, that's going to be called Himalayas, and it's been the culmination of a lot of years of writing and recording and kind of preparing. Before I was out of Ricky's band and on my own, it was just taking the steps and the time to develop. Like you said, you know, over the last 3 years, I know I've gotten more comfortable and able to do what I do. You know, it's, you know, never you alluded to that, learning how to sing and play. Yeah, I mean, that was something I had to do very slow at first and try to make it work. Yeah, so it feels natural. All right, so the crew is left. I think that I think they're getting the thumbs up. Yeah. All right, as they slide out, I'll say goodbye to you. But man, great set, and so good to watch your music evolve. And you're a tremendous singer too, Scott Mulvihill, folks. You're going to be seeing more of him. Thank you, Craig. Real joy to have you. Thanks. Well, I'll reintroduce Greg Hall to the stage. You're doing a great job, sir. It's good to have you as guest host. And one more time for Greg. Thank you, Greg.
My agent finally came out.
I
just met this dog 3 minutes ago, but he has got the chi of this room. It's a wonderful, and which also makes me want to mention the children and the pets who are here tonight lend to this wonderful feeling that we have. So thank you for the kids and the animals and the young kids at heart out there who are doing this. And guys, do you need a couple of more minutes to get her going? Let me look out here. Where'd my Huntsville people go? Right there? Okay, where are y'all from? Third row back there. Y'all are from Huntsville as well? My sister's aunt's realtor has a nephew whose cousin drove by there one time, so that's good. And was looking for a different town. Guys, are y'all ready to go? This is going to be fun right here. I've known about these guys for over a decade, and they burst on the scene more than 10 years ago because the bluegrass musicians, the community, knew about these guys, and they wondered what would happen if they got together. Well, expectations were they won 2 IBMA, International Bluegrass Music Association Awards, 2 years in a row for Entertainer of the Year. Give it up for that. Since then, they've been at the heart of today's bluegrass world, releasing excellent albums and showing off mind-boggling musicianship, which I watched last night on YouTube a bunch, and it is. What a treat to have them here at Monteagle in the Assembly. Put your hands together for the Grascals.
Up this hill and down, and up this hill again. Up this hill and down, and up this hill again. It's a mighty, mighty long road. One ain't got no end. Well, it's 5 o'clock in the morning and 12 o'clock at night. Well, it's 5 o'clock in the morning and 12 o'clock at night. Now I work so hard to live, but I ain't got no life. Well, if a woman doesn't kill you, she'll drive you insane. Well, if a woman doesn't kill you, she'll drive you insane. Well, this love's about got me down, but I sure do love the pain. Up this hill and down, and up this hill again. Up this hill and down, and up this hill again. It's a mighty, mighty long road. One ain't got no end. So hard. Saturday I'll talk to my woman, Sunday I'll talk to the Lord. Well, sometimes I've got trouble, other times it's misery. Well, sometimes I've got trouble, other times it's misery. Well, it seems that everything bad just hangs around with me. Up this hill and down, and up this hill again. And up this hill and down, and up this hill again. It's a mighty, mighty long road. One ain't got no end. Up that hill now. Yes, sir. What happens on the road of life stays on the road of life, my friend. Yeah, the best you can do is look ahead to where you go, not where you've been. And that rearview mirror's full of things you can't turn around and try again. What happens on the road of life stays on the road of life, my friend. shouldn't take. With twists and curves at every turn, and bridges that you burn along the way. What happens on the road of life stays on this road of life, my friend. And whenever you find love, better open up your heart and let it in. Enjoy the ride right till the end. 'Cause what happens on the road of life stays on this road of life, my friend. Dog belly. Shouldn't take. With twists and curves at every turn, and bridges that you burn along the way. What happens on the road of life stays on this road of life, my friend. Yeah, the best you can do is look ahead to where you're going, not where you've been. Rearview mirror, it's full of things you can't turn around and try again. 'Cause what happens on the road of life stays on this road of life, my friend. Yeah, what happens on the road of life stays on the road of life, my friend.
You all. Oh, everybody doing well tonight? That's right. What a great show this has been. We're really happy to be back here at Music City Roots and doing a few songs from some of our songs from our brand new CD and some songs from some of our older CDs, and going to be just having a good time tonight. I hope you all have a good time with us. Let me go ahead and introduce that fella that just sang that song to you. He's one of the founding members of the Grascals, one of the most recognizable voices in our business, one of the finest fellas you'd ever want to meet. Make him welcome, Mr. Terry Eldridge right there on the guitar. It's Terry Eldridge.
Thank you, Monteagle.
We'll go ahead and introduce you to our other Terry right here on the bass, another founding member of the group. These two fellas spent 25 years between them with the Osborne brothers. This fella right here is one of the best bass players in the world, and we're tickled he's a Grascal. He's a great singer, a great songwriter. If you make him welcome, Mr. Terry Smith right there on the bass. Terry Smith! Go ahead and tell you about this banjo player. She's getting ready to pick one for you. We're proud of her. She is the 4-time IBMA and 5-time Spigma Banjo Player of the Year. And well, you can give her a hand for that if you want. That's fine. She's going to step up here right now and show us why, but first, make her welcome Miss Kristen Scott Benson right there. Appreciate that. Let me go ahead now and introduce this next fellow to you right here. He is the newest Grascal. He's been with us just a little over 3 years and does a great job. In case anybody's wondering, he's the one that you hear up here singing the high sissy part. And he does a fine job on it. Every male quartet and trio's got to have somebody that looks like a man and sings like a woman, and this is our guy right here. Fine job, that's right. He comes from Boone, North Carolina, one of the finest young singers in our business today. If you make him welcome, Mr. John Bryan right here. It's John Bryan. This next song is on our newest release. We fortunate enough when this came out, it went to #1 for us on the bluegrass charts, and we appreciate that. And Kristen's got a good friend that wrote this along with Becky Buller, and she brought it to the group, and we were listening to it. And John said, "I want to sing that song." I said, "All right, we'll let you do it." And at that time, he was engaged to get married. And he has since gotten married, and they're doing good. He's still a newlywed. And but I said, "Have you listened to the words to that song real close?" And he said, "Well, I think I have." And I said, "Well, you just be sure you take them to heart then when you sing this song. So if any of you thinking about getting married or are married, listen to the words of this song and really take them to heart." This is one entitled "Sleeping with the Reaper."
It was a crime of passion committed with 2 words in a little white church in the middle of the night. Before I knew what happened, I was standing next to her, and I crossed my heart and hoped to die. With the echo of "I do" still ringing in my ear, she said, "You need to know what I believe, 'cause I'm a Christian woman, honey, you're a married man, and death is the only way to live." She said, "I don't intend to let you tell a lie. Well, you crossed your heart and hope to die. One way or the other, who's it gonna be tonight? Will you be sleeping with the Reaper or me tonight? Sleeping with the Reaper or me?" When a dream is held too tight, honey, it can turn to dust. And she just loved the life right out of me. Well, I didn't mean to step that night, let alone let on that I let lust crush the vows I'd sworn to keep. She said, "I don't intend to let you tell a lie. Well, you crossed your heart and hope to die. One way or the other, who's it gonna be tonight? Will you be sleeping with the Reaper or me tonight? Sleeping with the Reaper or me?" Well, she hit me with both barrels, sent my spirit on ahead, from whence I watched them throw away the key. Now there's a calm in her voice as she stares at those 4 walls. Every day she silently repeats. She said, "I don't intend to let you tell a lie. Well, you crossed your heart and hope to die. One way or the other, who's it gonna be tonight? Will you be sleeping with the Reaper or me tonight? Sleeping with the Reaper or me? Sleeping with the Reaper or me?"
John Bryan with "Sleeping with the Reaper" right there.
Well, thank you so much. I want to take just a quick second here and introduce the mandolin player to you. He lives not too far from here outside Nashville. He's originally from the state of Kentucky. And he is an original founding member of the Grascals. And I believe without a doubt he's one of the best mandolin players on this face of the earth. And I believe it's the best that you guys will ever get to hear.
And if you would put your hands together and welcome Danny Roberts on the mandolin.
Thank you all. Go ahead now and introduce this man playing the fiddle to you. He's been a Grascal now for 5 or 6 years, one of the finest people I've ever met, one of the finest fiddle players I've ever had the privilege of being on stage with, from right up south of the Kentucky border in Portland, Tennessee. If you make him welcome, Mr. Adam Haynes right here on the fiddle. That's Adam Haynes. All right, we're going to do a song for you now that is another song on our new record. I don't know what the theme was. That last one's Sleeping with the Reaper, and this one's a great story song. And it's kind of a great story behind this, too. We're driving down the road in the middle of the night. Me and Adam was sitting there, and just all of a sudden, Terry just raises up in the middle of the night and starts saying, "Demons, demons." I was about ready to bail out. I didn't know what was going on. But come to find out, he remembered this song that Bill Anderson wrote. I think Bill Anderson and John Randall wrote this song and wanted to cut it, and it's doing well for us right now, climbing the bluegrass charts. So another one of those real happy, upbeat songs, one called Demons.
Yeah. Sometimes they're in a bottle, sometimes a pair of high-heel shoes. Some come rolled in papers and have 6 strings and only play the blues. But once you've met the devil, there ain't no way he's gonna let you be. When I'm not chasing demons, there's demons chasing me. Skeletons in closets and ghosts underneath the bed. Well, they hide out in pictures and in words that's better left unsaid. They hang around like perfume and haunt me like an ancient melody. When I'm not chasing demons, there's demons chasing me. There's things that I can't leave alone, 'cause they won't leave me alone. What I want ain't what I need. Still I'll reach for the things I crave. Better try to run away. Maybe I'm afraid of being free. When I'm not chasing demons, there's demons chasing me. So roll one up and light it, and I'll pick up my old guitar. I'm playing Crossroads, drinking whiskey from a mason jar. There's this heartache at my front door, said she thinks she needs my company. When I ain't chasing demons, but there's demons chasing me. There's things that I can't leave alone, 'cause they won't leave me alone. What I want ain't what I need. Still I'll reach for the things I crave. Better try to run away. Maybe I'm afraid of being free. When I'm not chasing demons, there's demons chasing me. When I ain't chasing demons, there's demons chasing me.
got demons right there.
Watch out for them.
Great job, pal. Well, we appreciate it. We got time to do one more song, another song of our newest record. This is a lot of fun right here. It's fun to, if you want to dance, get up and dance. If you want to sing, if you want to clap, this one kind of fits the bill for all of it. We appreciate it. We're the Grascals. We've had a great time tonight. We're going to close out with one called Dance With Me Delia.
Yes, lighten up the night. Dance with me, Delia. Dance all night long. Steal away, my Delia. We'll dance until the dawn. Kick your shoes off, Delia. There's sawdust on the floor. Your pretty little bare feet just make me love you more. Well, my legs are getting shaky, feet are getting sore. Let's steal away, my Delia. We'll dance right out the door and dance right out the door. Dance with me, Delia. Dance all night long. Steal away, my Delia. We'll dance until the dawn. Dance with me, Delia. Dance all night long. Steal away, my Delia. We'll dance until the dawn.
Thank you, folks. We appreciate y'all. You have a great night.
Was that fantastic? Give it up for the Grascals.
Grascals, y'all. Yeah.
Give it up for Scott Mulvahill. Was that great on the bass? Give it up for the Wild Ponies.
Yeah.
I want to thank Craig and Keith, but I want to thank some unknown people. The sound people and the people who take care of the logistics here are the best in the business. Give sound, lighting, and all these people
all our camera
wonderful
folks,
hand.
yeah.
They are part of the family too, and they're spectacular to work with.
My daughter's making her debut on camera tonight, so she's been making her debut on the camera, working camera tonight, so well
Your
done.
Your daughter is making her debut working a camera?
First time, yeah.
Whoa!
So, you know, come next fall, she'll be a pro. What a great time. Thank you, Greg, for being such a terrific host. Greg Hall, everybody.
It's my pleasure. My pleasure. Loved it.
So what happens now in Music City Roots every time is all our bands come back out to the stage, gather around the microphones, and do you a jam. And I think I heard what it is, but I'm not going to prejudice the situation or try to make a guess. And I'll leave it in the capable hands of Greg Hall. Keith Bilber, you got anything else for us tonight, sir? Thank you, Keith.
Yeah, sure. I just want to thank Fender Amplification and Shure Microphones for their support with some of the gear we used to produce this fine sound. And I hope, is everybody ready? We're going to gather around here on stage and do the final jam. And it's all brought to you by Yeehaw Brewing. Everybody say yeehaw one time. Yeehaw! That's pretty good. I think we could do better, though. Yeehaw! That's good. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, mercy sakes alive. How about a jam here? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a little bit of fun. I don't know if I'm not plugged in here, but guys, this is one great part of the Music City Roots thing. At the end of the night, we all get up here and play a song none of us have ever played or known. So that is where the fun is, and we're gonna play this whole thing.
Well, that's all right, mama. That's all right with you. That's all right, mama. Take you anywhere you do, and that's all right. That's all right. That's all right now, mama. Anywhere will do.
My friend Scott.
Well, Papa said, now, son. Mama said it too. That girl you fool around with, Bessie ain't no good for you. That's alright. That's alright. That's alright now. Anyway.
How about a little fiddle over there on the left?
guitar player back there who wants to take a little bit. Woo! That's all right, Mama. That's all right with me. We just played the Monteagle Assembly, and it's all right. It's all right. It's all right now, Mama. Anyway, we'll do. It's all right now, Mama. Woo-hoo. Woo-hoo. In a hot tub. Woo. Anyway, well. Thank you, Monteagle Assembly. Thank you, all these wonderful people behind me. Thank you, Music City Roots staff. And thank you, folks out there, for listening. God bless you. Good night.
Big hand for Greg Hall. Done a great job tonight, Greg. His very first Music City Roots. That's great. Well, Music City Roots is a production of Hang Time Media. Executive producers John Walker and Todd Mayo. I want to thank everyone on our fine Roots crew for another job well done. And congratulate producer Ashley Jean Trott and her husband Joe. They're expecting a new baby in December. We're excited about that. Don't forget to tune in to 89.5 WMOT Roots Radio tonight on your way home. It does indeed come in way up here on the mountain. I'm Keith Bilbrey, and from the Assembly in Monteagle, Tennessee, good night, everybody.
Hang down.